Welcome to our YouTube video series on employee layoffs and terminations. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular video, we will be looking at a growing trend of employers pitching the availability of laid-off employees to their corporate competitors as part of their employee offboarding strategy. What we've seen amongst major employers that have recently undertaken significant layoffs has been the presentation by those employers of interested laid-off employees as to their availability for employment with other employers. The inclusion of laid-off employees is only done with their explicit consent, yet potentially allows those individuals to more rapidly attain new employment in their particular field of expertise where there is a prospective new employer that has this specific need. Naturally, had the laid-off employee been invaluable to the original employer, one would have expected that the employer to have made sufficient arrangements to retain that particular employee, as opposed to allowing such an individual to be poached by one's competition. However, where entire divisions or product lines are being eliminated by a company, whether as a result of market forces, reorganizations, or corporate mergers, this can be a particular advantageous period for the hiring employer, given that such employees can no longer be sustained within the current business structure, with aspects of redundancy, personal relationships, favoritism, and tenure all too often playing a role in these decisions, such that high-quality employees are pushed out for reasons unrelated to their work ethic and quality of their contribution to the business. As such, there are significant factors that will necessarily go into a hiring employer's considerations when looking at this practice of major employers presenting their laid-off employees for hire. And we are seeing this with particular frequency, be it Spotify, Zoom, Salesforce, Splunk, HubSpot, Upstart, Delivery Hero, Oyster, DriveWealth, Noom, Corvus Insurance, Venjage, Flexport, Starry, American Robotics, and others, among the growing trend to publicize the availability of ex-employees. These talent books of interested and available laid-off employees typically includes their name and contact information, personal email address with some also listing cell phone numbers, their prior role and department with their prior employer, as well as a link to their LinkedIn profile, being the ever-common source for one's professional resume or curriculum vitae. With employers that are more spread out geographically, we also see where those former employees have indicated their work availability extends to, given that certain employees are more willing to relocate than others. We have also taken note, especially in the tech space, of employees that are subject to visa requirements, which can be a very important consideration, given how the prospective new employer views those particular situations. When we look at how this was done, many of these employers are using the Google Docs spreadsheet as a means to facilitate this sharing process, given its inherent design for internet-based sharing. Still, it does appear somewhat more chaotic than other employer presentations that have created a cleaner talent book, with one of the most professional-looking presentations being that of Zoom, which even presents a pie graph at the outset that sets out areas of practice from which those employees were employed, and thereafter providing a very clean and searchable layout for finding laid-off employees that might be of interest to other interested employers. It all appears as a very positive trend for laid-off employees, even though its application may prove somewhat limited, and the reasons might be more self-serving than the employers would want to let on. It could nevertheless prove highly beneficial to all participants that are involved in this particular process, especially given how challenging it often is for so many employees being laid off by the same employer at one time. Thank you.